You keep waiting to feel like you're doing enough. Like one day you'll wake up and finally feel like a good Muslim mother. That feeling isn't coming, and honestly, you don't need it to. This isn't a list of things you're doing wrong. By the end of this video, you'll see 10 quiet, ordinary things you already do that Allah counts as real, weighty worship, even on your hardest days. Stay with me for just a few minutes because you need to hear this tonight. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back. If you've ever sat in the dark after finally getting everyone to sleep and thought, I don't think I did enough today, you are not alone. So many mothers carry that same quiet ache. The dishes piled up, you snapped once, you didn't get to your Quran, and somewhere in your chest, guilt settled in like it always does. But guilt isn't always truth. Sometimes it's just exhaustion wearing a spiritual mask. Here's what changes everything. Sincerity doesn't need to look impressive to count. Allah isn't measuring your day by a checklist. He's measuring the intention behind it, the love, the effort, the trying again. And once you start recognizing that, the guilt starts to loosen its grip. So let's walk through 10 signs, 10 quiet proofs that you are already further along than you think. 1. You worry about your children and pray for them. Even a fleeting dua whispered while driving, while cooking, while watching them sleep carries real weight before Allah. A parent's sincere prayer for their child is one of the most accepted forms of dua there is. That worry you carry isn't just anxiety, it's love turned into worship. Somewhere between the school run and the bedtime story, you've been praying this whole time without even calling it that. 2. You apologize after losing your patience. You snapped, you raised your voice, and then later you knelt down and said, I'm sorry. That moment of return, that softening, is exactly what sincere repentance looks like in real life. It's not about never failing, it's about what you do after. Your children aren't learning perfection from you, they're learning what it looks like to come back. 3. You keep showing up even exhausted. The lunches still get packed, the homework still gets checked, the prayer still gets prayed, even if it's rushed, even if it's late. Small deeds done consistently are loved more than grand gestures done once. Your tired, repeated effort is not invisible. Every exhausted again you show up for is being counted, even when you've stopped counting yourself. 4. You whisper Quran or dua over your sleeping child. Even a single ayah murmured over a small, sleeping body is worship, sincere, unwitnessed, unmeasured by anyone but Allah. You don't need a formal setting for it to count. No one saw that moment, but it was never really unseen. 5. You feel guilty, which means you still care. That heavy feeling in your chest when you think you failed, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign your heart is still soft, still tender toward your responsibility. A hardened heart wouldn't feel a thing. The guilt you carry is proof of the love underneath it. 6. You choose patience in the small, unnoticed moments. The 10th time explaining the same thing. The meltdown in the grocery store. The moment you bite your tongue instead of snapping. Patience practiced quietly with no audience is some of the most sincere patience there is. No one clapped for that moment, but it still counted. You provide, even when it doesn't look like enough. Store-bought snacks, a meal that came from a box, a day you couldn't cook from scratch. Provision was never promised to look a certain way. It comes from Allah, through your hands, however tired those hands are. Fed is fed. Loved is loved. That's what your children will remember. You model faith without lecturing. They see you pray, even briefly. They see you say Bismillah before meals. They see you turn to Allah in hard moments. Children absorb far more from what they witness than what they're told. You may never give them a formal lesson. You're already teaching them everything just by being watched. You keep trying even after hard days. The day you lost your temper twice, the day nothing went right, and still, the next morning you woke up and tried again. That return, that refusal to give up, is itself a form of steadfastness. Trying again after a hard day is its own quiet victory. You love them in ways only Allah fully sees. The midnight worry, the silent duat in traffic, the ache when they're sick. Sincerity is, by definition, the part of worship no one else can witness, and Allah sees all of it, completely, even what you've never said out loud. Every unseen act of love has already been seen. My dear sister, you were never failing at this. You were carrying more than anyone could see and still choosing love over and over in the small hours no one else witnessed. Allah doesn't ask you to be flawless. He asks for sincerity, for effort, for a heart that keeps trying. And by that measure, you are already so much further along than the guilt has let you believe. So tonight, let this be the moment you release some of that weight, not because the work is done, but because you were never meant to carry it as heavily as you have been. If one of these 10 spoke straight to your heart, tell me which one in the comments below. And if you needed this reminder tonight, consider staying close. Subscribe, and let's keep walking through this together.